So this article is basically a critique of the American Civil Liberties Union, or the ACLU, and their denouncement of DeVos's proposals to reforming Title IX. Their main critique was that if it denounced her proposals as harmful to the victims, and and it would make it easier, and it would be more biased to the accused. And the Atlantic states that the proposals actually defend defend due process for and the rights of the accused, and which is basically the prerogative of the ACLU, and what they've been doing in the criminal justice system for many years is defending the rights of accused of or defendants. And within the article, it sort of goes through the list of sort of like DeVos's proposals, and how the ACLU like goes against their own like mission by denouncing them. And the first thing is that they talk. One of the things they talk about, for example, is sort of like the standard of evidence, of judging evidence, and how they sort of know how in criminal justice courts the ACLU promotes beyond reasonable doubt for the defendant in terms of whether or not they are guilty of a crime. And here they're backtracking and sort of supporting the preponderance of evidence, which is just like if there's a 50-50 chance, or 51 to 49 chance if the guilt of the accused is guilty, then they're convicted. They're proven to be guilty. And they also talk about cross examination, and they basically relate a lot of what goes on campus to actual court functions. And their main idea is that sexual assault proceedings shouldn't be done on campus, and that they should be done on legal court casings, where both the rights of the accused and the accuser are held in a legal justice court setting. And they talk about the Sixth Amendment also, which states that the defendant, in this case the accused, has a right to cross-examine their accuser. And of course, this can be done through third party in order to protect the accuser. And it's, although many would argue that it traumatizes the victim, the Atlantic sort of they and like its supporters of the DeVos's proposal says like this is the way that we've upheld due process and the rights of a person who hasn't been convicted of anything, to address his allegations against him or her. So that's their main argument. And throughout the article, they use sort of I believe as sanctity slash degradation, our moral foundation, that moral foundation within us, to prove their point, because they see the ACLU and their denouncement of the proposal as sort of backtracking their own moral mission, and what they've been doing for the past how many years that they've been an organization. And it's sort of like is sort of like impure to their core beliefs. And I think that's how they trigger. And then also fairness, of course. Fairness is always a trigger whenever we're talking about due process. But I think the purity of the ACLU and their mission, in the eyes of the Atlantic and the writer, has been degraded by this notion. So thank you.